Hey everybody, this is Chamonix from Chamonix Films, and today I'm going to make you a little video about being camera shy and how it feels awkward in front of the camera. And I get this all the time from my clients that I hear that I pick up my camera and they go, "Oh, I'm so uncomfortable," or "I hate my smile," or "I'm not photogenic," or like, "I just hate how I look in photos. Can you please make me look better?" Like, I hear that all the time. And what's funny is that pretty much all the time it's completely false. Like, if I trusted people, I would be going into the photo shoot being like, "All right, well, these are ugly people, and then I'm gonna sit down at the computer and have to like make them look better." But you know what happens is they look completely normal, completely fine, good in fact. I sit down to edit and still they're like looking good to me. And I will see the occasional photo that's like, "Oh, that's not a good angle for them," or "the light doesn't look good when it's coming at them from this side because it shows off like a lot of wrinkles there." Not really that they have a lot of wrinkles, but more that the lighting makes it look like they do. So I get rid of those ones and you never have to see them. So on the one hand, you can trust me in the sense that my job is to make sure you look good and deliver pictures that you like. So that's the point, right? But I hear people expressing this fear that they don't want to look bad and that they're afraid that they will. And so it kind of leaves me with like, get to the root of the problem, right? Like, I can edit, I can help you with posing, and I'll do my absolute best so when you're working with me that we end up with the best product we can. But can we crank it back a notch first and realize what we're saying? Like, the way that we are talking about ourselves and the way that we're thinking about a camera, and it kind of goes back to self-esteem and confidence. Like, the camera is making us feel insecure and uncomfortable because we're shining a spotlight on our face and on our body and on our words, and it's like, oh my gosh, maybe I don't like it. Just because you haven't liked what you've seen in the past doesn't mean that that's a fact, that you are unphotogenic. In fact, I was talking to my roommate the other day. I was laughing with him and saying, like, all my clients think they're unphotogenic. They're all saying this. But the trend I notice is that the clients that say I'm not photogenic, it's harder to get a good picture of them. And it has nothing to do with photogenic face. It's the attitude. Like, coming into the photo shoot being like, "I'm not photogenic," means that your body language is instantly kind of shut off or stiff or nervous, versus the people that come into it being like, "I don't care, let's just have fun." They're already like just physically set up to look better. Not because of their face, because of their body language, which is something that can be changed. So I brought up my roommate because he was like, "Yeah, you're not photogenic with that attitude." So that, I kind of want that to be my new line. Like, if someone says I'm not photogenic, it's like, yeah, with that attitude, you're not. Like, I'm totally sympathetic to how uncomfortable it can feel. But also, at the same time, I want to encourage you to try and change your mindset. Like, whether that's going to involve counseling, journaling, a reflective walk through the neighborhood, spending some time in the mirror. Like, seriously, stare in the mirror. It's awkward. But think about it. We don't want that to be awkward. Why would that be awkward? To look at yourself? Like, you know what it's like to stare at somebody? Or like creepier, watch someone sleep? Like, if you have children and you watch them sleep? Creepy. But no, it's not, right? Because you're just looking at them and you're appreciating them and seeing what's beautiful about them. And if they woke up, you wouldn't be like, "Oh God, I'm looking at you." It would probably be like, "Hi, I was just looking at you sleep. You look so peaceful," right? Like, that's a perfectly normal, beautiful thing to do. But because of how our society sends out messages, it's conformed our brains to think that that's weird to do to ourselves. Like, if you stare in the mirror at yourself for 5 minutes, you're just completely conceited and vain. But what about this whole idea of self-love, right? Is it possible to actually stare in the mirror and just smile at yourself and appreciate what you like in a not vain way, just in a way of gratitude? Like, look at yourself and be like, "I really like my hair. I really like my eyes." Or if there's something you don't like, can you stare at it and start to like come to terms with it and appreciate it? Like, "I don't like my eyes." Go stare at them and be like, "Why?" Like, "Well, I don't like that color." And then you're like, "Well, why?" And then can you get around to the to a different perspective, like, well, maybe I like them because of this. Like, maybe they're not my favorite color, but they're a nice color. You know, I don't want to, we're getting kind of sidetracked. The point of my story is that if you really want to get better on camera, whether that's going to be for your business or for your personal life, or just so that for the rest of your life, you don't have to have that awkward, uncomfortable feeling, you want to get rid of that, I would start with spending some time in the mirror, like really looking at yourself and just, can we cultivate a little bit more self-love? That's a really good place to start. And if that's new to you and you need guidance with that, talk to me, because I'm not only a filmmaker, I'm also a yoga teacher, and I have a lot of experience with helping people learn to love themselves more. So I will happily work with you on that. But the mirror trick is serious. It's something that I'm working on myself, and I'm getting more and more comfortable with it. Just walking into the bathroom in the morning and making eye contact, like as if you're looking at another person. Like, oh, hello. And then being like, oh, good morning, beautiful. Or like whatever, just something positive. And at first it feels awkward, right? Just like standing in front of a camera. But the more you do it, the more it becomes a natural way. So I have a mirror on my desk. Let me show you. There's my desk. There's a big mirror. So when I'm at work, I will actually look up all the time and just smile at myself like a friend. Like I work here alone. So in one sense I get lonely. So it's kind of nice to have a friendly face, but it's just getting really comfortable with looking at yourself in the mirror. And I think that translates very well to being in front of the camera, partly because then you'll be more familiar with your face and how it looks. So when there's a camera there, you know that a certain expression, you know what that feels like, and you know how it portrays and how it looks. So it's just more familiar, and we're comfortable and things are more familiar. If it's also cultivating more self-love, then you're less nervous about the camera seeing you or the person seeing you, because you are confident and you're like, I know that whatever angle it's from, there's something beautiful about it, even if it's not my best angle. Like there's a lot more self-love around it. Okay. Once you start to play there, it's a lot of faking it till you make it. So you get in front of the camera and you're like, I'm just gonna pretend I'm confident and I'm really uncomfortable inside, but I'm gonna act like I'm not and try and convince the camera and the person behind it that I'm totally fine. And you'll probably look completely fine. And then when you realize that you look completely fine, then you're like, oh, hey, I actually am completely fine. Because if I can fake it, then I was doing it, right? So that's kind of the psychology behind being comfortable in front of the camera. You just need to be familiar, so you need to practice it. Staring at the mirror will help you build a relationship that makes you more confident. And then faking it till you make it. Okay, once you have managed to get in front of the camera and you've got that background of sort of self-love going on, these are some things you can do to actually get better at engaging with the camera. So one thing is just exaggerate. So you could talk to the camera really monotone and just be like, hi, I'm Chamonix and I'm a filmmaker, and my cat just walked into the room and now she's hiding behind me somewhere and you can't see her, but this is kind of getting boring. Versus being like, hi, I'm Chamonix and I'm a filmmaker and this is my cat and she loves being on the camera, doesn't she? Yes, I do. She's gonna scratch my face in a second because she's like, I hate this. Okay, you see, that's like probably more fun for you to watch when I'm being really animated. And I've got a lot of practice with it. It's gonna be easier if you have acting background. If it's completely new to you, some of the basic things, just move your face more. Like lift your eyebrows higher, open your mouth more. It's like mumbling versus articulating when you're talking or singing. You can be like, paint with all the colors of the wind. Or you open your mouth and you're like, paint with all the colors, blah, blah, blah. See, like open more, there's more interest. Okay. What else do I have here? This reminds me of two things I've done in life, ice skating and singing, where to get it to work best, you need to do it at an extreme. And when you start doing that extreme, it feels extreme, like you're exaggerating it, it's weird, and you think that from the outside, it's gonna look really severe. So with ice skating, it's like you want to bend your knees when you're ice skating. And I'm going to just demonstrate this is easier. Let's ice skate, kitty cat. Okay, so when you're skating around the rink, right, and then you say like you're supposed to bend your knees, and you bend your knees, and you're like, yep, they're really bent. And you're like, no, you should like bend your knees like down here. And you're like, surely that's just too far. But that's actually where you want to be. But I just feel like when I'm here, this is ridiculous. But the point is that you need to go further than you've ever gone before. You need to open your mouth wider than you've ever gone before when it comes to singing. It feels too far because it's new, but the reality is that that's actually normal. Like, then go watch the professional ice skaters and the professional singers, and their mouth is open and their knees are very bent. So when you're working on camera for the first time, maybe you spend most of your life being very still, very monotone, little movement. When the camera's in front of you, if you're trying to be more engaging, it's gonna feel awkward if you can push yourself to move more and take up the camera. See, this is like, just moving is like, what is she doing? I wanna watch that video. And that's what you're trying to get that feeling of people. They wanna watch you. So exaggerate, it feels awkward, but just push yourself to do it and it will become more natural. To the point where now when a camera goes up, I'm just like, hello. So you get used to it. Okay, a few other tips. Knowing what's gonna happen is really helpful for your nervous system. We like the familiar. So if you're making your own film, you can plan it. Like I today have my little notebook with some of the topics that I wanted to talk about in this video. If you're not the one making the video, you're just the model in it, like if I'm working with a client, then then you wanna just know what the plan is. So if you're in front of the camera, ask what the plan is. If you are a camera person, to make your model feel more comfortable, tell them what's going on. So I try and give my clients an overview, like, we're gonna start taking your headshots. We're gonna take a few of them standing against this wall, and then we're gonna take a few sitting over here. I'm gonna tell you everything you need to do, and I want you to start by crossing your arms. You talk them through it. Don't just say, okay, stand there. Because that's gonna make someone even more awkward. And if you're on the other side of the camera, and someone just said, just stand there, like, I would raise your hand and just be like, can you give me an overview of what's happening? It's not really helpful to say, tell me what to do, because sometimes people don't know how to direct. But if you just ask for an overview, like, I just need a general outline of what's happening so I'm not completely oblivious. And that will help you to relax a little bit more. Even if you don't know what's coming next, specifically, if you have a general scope, you can chill out a little bit. Okay, comfortable body is so important, right? If you feel like you're not photogenic in the face and you're tense and your smile is fake, go check out the rest of your body first, okay? This is really similar to like the yoga stuff. You're doing a yoga pose and your body's really tense and then your face is really tense and you're like, oh, maybe if you just like chill out a little bit, everything will relax. So pay a little attention to your feet and your hands, especially. People fidget with their hands without realizing it, and that's just annoying. And if you're standing or sitting and your weight is like on one hip or on one foot, you're gonna feel really wobbly. Like, ground yourself, help your body feel stable so that your nervous system and everything can feel safe and balanced in front of the camera. It can also help to hold something in your hands, like have a little paper clip or something, just so that the movement is not really drastic. You're just keeping yourself focused with a little bit of movement. Okay, and then one last thing, if you're really trying to break down your wall in front of the camera, go a little bit slower, but try breaking it up. So I will often have awkward people stand in front of my camera and they think they're just supposed to go, smile, this is really awkward, that's really awkward. It's like, no, you can move. But then some people get nervous and they move too much. They're like, this is so awkward. And I'm like, can you just calm down for a second? So I'm looking for the medium where you're gonna smile and then you're gonna go, and then okay, so try that. Just where you're gonna give a smile, and then when you start to feel awkward, like move, do a silly face, and then come back to a smile, then move and do another silly face, come back to a smile. Okay, so those are my tips. It's a big process of practice to get comfortable in front of the camera, but one, stop saying that you're unphotogenic, because that is, with that attitude, you are. Work on some self-love and confidence in the mirror, and when you do get in front of the camera, make sure you understand the whole plan, don't be afraid to move, and make sure you feel really grounded, and you keep breathing. And there's no reason to be awkward, okay? Because we're watching it, and we just want to connect with you. So that's it. Again, I'm Chamonix, and from Chamonix Films.